Good morning. I see we have Jill on here, but I can't see you, Jill. And I see we have Lori on here. And Connie is coming in. I'll give everybody just a few minutes to get in here with us today. Good morning. And if you guys would like to be interactive, I would love that. Please make sure you've got your microphone on. And if your video camera is turned off, turn your video camera on. And then we can all see each other. Is that you, Teresa?
Yeah.
Hey, how are you doing?
Fine. Sorry, I've got two screens going.
I'm going to make this one smaller for me because it's like huge. Good morning. Good morning. I see a few more popping in here. Hello, Melody. How are you?
Hello. Good, thanks. My laptop downstairs was not pulling up internet, so I had to run upstairs real quick.
Oh, well, it looks like
and you know how easy it is to run upstairs for me right now. So.
Oh no!
Well, it took me a
You
bit.
look like you are doing a lot better.
It's every day is an improvement. I start physical therapy this week, and so every day I'm just a little better.
Good, good. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I've got almost 11.
Hey, Donna.
So has anybody seen anything come out on conference yet?
No, but I was wondering, I hope it doesn't come out while we're all sitting on this call.
Well, it may be after lunch, who knows, but I just wondered because I've been gone this morning, so I haven't even had a chance to look. So
It hasn't yet.
Everybody, Melody and I are super excited to have this opportunity to have a little, I'm having a water chat this morning because I've been to yoga and I'm done with coffee. I need water. So we're excited to be here with you guys. So, and I think this is supposed to be pretty open discussion. So we certainly would love to go wherever you guys would like to go this morning with this call. Judy had kind of suggested that we talk a little bit about creating the culture for fast-paced recruiting growth, which I guess you guys are all very interested in that, and you know, creating that culture for career plan advancement. So before we get started, Melody, do you want to introduce yourself or say hello to everybody?
I sure will. Can you guys see me? Is it switched to me when you see me? Okay, good. I am super excited to be on this call. I was in lead for 3 different seasons, and I will tell you just real quick as I can, lead completely changed my business. And I have told this story so many times on lead calls. I've been asked to talk about, I spoke actually at conference last year about fast-paced recruiting growth and building directors. That's what I spoke on at conference last year. So I'm excited to be on this call with you and share just a little bit about where I've been and where I was when I was where you guys exactly are, you know, first starting out in lead. 2000, what year are we in? We're in 18 right now. So 2016, the very first lead that we did, I was asked to be on there. And I will tell you, I don't know if this sounds familiar, but I was scared to death. And I had always had about 8 shows a month. That wasn't an issue for me, but the thought of recruiting 2 people every single month consistently scared me to death. And so I had recruited some, but not too consistently. You know, I had months where I had 3, 0, 1, 2, all over the place. So I had to switch that mindset to that 2 every month. But when I did, something amazing happened on my team. When I started recruiting consistently every single month, my team then started recruiting consistently every single month. And so I had my first fast track. So when I started, guys, I was a director. 2016 started as a director. And then I got my first fast track in April, and then I got another in July. I got another in August. And then by the time I had been in lead for the 3 times, I was promoting to executive. Okay, so I went from director to an executive in almost a year. Okay, and all of that was changed because my mindset of recruiting changed, and it trickled all the way down my team. Okay, so this program is going to help you guys so much. And so I'm just excited to see you guys grow and know and give you the confidence that I was there as a director. I wasn't even in Lead Plus. I was there as a director, and I quickly was able to get, start building directors and everything. So I just encourage you guys in that for sure.
Wow, you are just a living example of an inspirational leader and inspiring your team, and that's unbelievable. I didn't realize that you had gone from director to executive in that short a period of time. That is amazing, Melody. Just goes to show you what can happen in this business and how quickly things can change. My story is quite opposite. I've been around for a long time, and I think with me, I got very comfortable and stuck in a place for a very long time. And Leads is really what changed that for me and propelled me into that huge growth with our business. Somebody is typing away, so it's making a lot of noise. If you're typing, you might want to mute yourself. But going into Leads is really what got me from that plateau where I had reached as a senior director, sat there for a long time. I was very comfortable with that. The income was good. I had directors that I could have fun with and, hold director meetings with. So I just kind of got a little too comfortable, just got stuck there for a long, long time. And so when Judy invited me into Leads, I too was scared about the 2 recruits a month. Could I hold that up? I knew I could do the sales, but I wasn't sure about the recruiting. So it really forced me to make recruiting, to be very intentional about recruiting. And being consistent every single month with it. So as a result of being in Leads, my team exploded. It just absolutely exploded. And there is a lot to you leading by example because, they're looking to you, and what you do is, as Melody said, is going to trickle down into your team. Before we kind of just get all going everywhere, do you guys have any specific questions? I saw one question posted online by Heather.
Hey, Mackenzie, get over here.
Uh-oh, somebody needs to mute there.
It's Susan.
She probably thinks she's muted. Let me see if I can mute her. Okay, we'll see if that took care of that. All righty. So do any of you that are on there have any specific questions or any topics you would like for us to talk about today?
I do.
Okay.
How do you even begin? How do you even begin developing this culture? I'm just like, I've been doing little things here and there, but I want to figure out, what do you do to make it happen?
Okay.
Okay, I've talked on this topic 15 million times, Cindy, but if you want to
go ahead, Melody, and I'll fill in.
Because that, honest to goodness, when I spoke at conference last year, that was the very first 20 minutes of our discussion, because it is all about the culture of your team. And when the culture of your team changes, that's when the snowball effect really starts. And so there were several things that started the culture, but I will tell you, 2000, when I was asked to be in the program 2016, the summer of 2015 is what set up my business for that growth. Okay, so the summer of 2015, I was sitting there in my living room after having a team meeting with 3 people showing up. And I sat there that night just crying because I heard all day long, I'm sorry, I can't make it to the meeting. I had this come up, my dog's sick, whatever. And I was just so defeated, and I thought, you know what? I have got to do something different. The culture is not there on my team, and that starts with me. And so I took a look at my Facebook page, and I noticed, I'm the one posting 15 times a day. No one else is. And then I looked, just at my team meetings, and I was like, okay, what am I going to have to do differently to change, our team meeting, our Facebook page, all of that. And so I don't know if you guys have heard of the hashtag do and tell, hashtag, rockstar, whatever it is that you want to do to create where they are engaged and they're posting about the exciting things happening in their business. We chose hashtag do and tell. And let me tell you, I had already tried hashtag do and tell once and it flopped. It didn't do anything, but someone said, do it again. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try this again. And I was intentional this time. So even if you've tried something before and it hasn't worked, try it again. Because when I was intentional and everyone that said, hey, oh, great, I've got a show. And I said, go on our page and post about it. Hashtag do and tell. Go on and post about it. Hashtag do and tell. And I just kept encouraging. And when we got new recruits, I would say, be sure, post about the great things happening in your business and do a hashtag do and tell. I'm going to do 2 drawings every single month, And then I would just kept at that. And pretty soon they were the ones posting. And up, like now you look at my team page, it just blows up every single day. I mean, you just get lost in the post because there's so many people just posting exciting things that, got a booking, my host coaching went awesome, whatever it is, they are on there and they're engaged. My team meeting, I had to look at it and think, okay, what do I need to do to get people there? Now, I know a lot of you guys may be virtual. Now I'd go live on my page and I have about 20, 25 people join us virtually. And I have about 20, 25 people actually at our team meeting. Okay. So going from 3 to 50 watching, that's quite a big difference. So I started doing where I allowed, we started voting. We wanted to do themes. We did wine, cheese, and chocolate tasting. We did fajita margaritas. We had a fajita margarita fiesta last night for setting up, next month, Cinco de Mayo. So we did that last night at our team meeting. Everyone enjoyed the fajita margaritas. We talked about how to do that at a cooking show. We've done soup and slippers. We had Halloween costumes. We're dressing your Halloween costume. We're going to have a competition. Whatever it was that made them excited to come, to be there, to be engaged, that's where we started. And when we started doing that on our team meetings, then when they would see each other, they were excited to see each other. They were excited to come back, the next month. And that helped build. So that 6 months of doing that, when we started building the directors and we started getting that growth. So when I got that first fast track, we had such a team culture. We made such a big deal about it at our meeting, her promotion, what it was like to be a director. Then it started to get that excitement, and then we got another director. And then we got another one, and now we have, last night we had a director promotion. And I'm going to post pictures all over Facebook today. We went out as a director team yesterday to celebrate at Los Cabos, and we went out as a director team then, So it is truly the culture that you are building in your team that when that success and that recruiting culture changes, it's going to start trickling all the way down. And as those new recruits come in, you start getting them excited and you start talking about fast tracking from the very first time you talk to them. Okay, you can tell them, there's several different ways you can earn money in this business. Having a team is one of them. Is that something that interests you? Would you be interested in learning more about that? So that happens the very first call that I have with our new team members. Any training, we talk about that. We lay it out there for them. Then when we have these director promotions and they see that, it gets them excited. Okay, so truly changing the culture is what is going to set you up for the biggest success when that momentum starts happening.
And what I just heard Melody give some great examples of is how to make your team members feel included. Feel they are a part of something bigger than just them and their little Pampered Chef business. And when that starts happening, when they feel they're a part of it, that excitement just starts to explode. Because people naturally want to feel they're included, that they're a part of something bigger than just them. And I think the changing point for us in creating this culture of teamwork and activity was creating a vision for our team. And I had never really done that. I'd always had my own goals, and I always kind of knew what direction I wanted to go in. It was always a dream to be an executive leader with this company, but I never really shared that with my team because I always thought they were my goals and not their goals. And what I learned very early in the LEADS program, was to set those goals, to set big goals, to create that vision of what we are as a team, and share that with my team, because they do want to be included. They do want to be a part of all of that. So when I learned to do that, to make the goals and create the vision and share it, put it in front of my team and make them feel included through all these different activities and things they could do to be a part of it, recognition is huge. And recognition can be free. Recognition does not have to be an expensive thing. You know, recognize them constantly in your team page. Any activity you want to see repeated, they love that, and everybody wants to be a part of it. So it'll all start feeding itself once you create it and start driving it, as Melanie said. So I will share, to answer Heather's question, because she had posted in your group, what was the one big thing that really changed things for me? And that was setting a bold recruiting goal. And let me tell you, it was bold and it scared the bejesus out of me, you know, to set this goal and to put it out there in front of my team, because quite honestly, I had no idea if we could do it. So the year before I set this goal, this was probably about 2 to 3 years ago, but the year before I set this goal, our team recruited 80 people, okay? Our whole organization, 80 people. So I set a recruiting goal my first year in LEADS of 150. And that's pretty much doubling that 80. So that really was scary to me, because I had no idea if we could do that. It was a big, scary goal. But it was what I called a bold goal, and I set the goal, I put it in front of my directors and then in front of all of our teams and said, this is what we're about this year. This is our goal, and just really promoted it, really kept it in front of people. Anytime I went live in front of people, any meeting, any way I could post it, just totally kept that goal in front of people all the time. Well, let me tell you what happened. People started jumping on board. They wanted to be a part of this process. And by the time June rolled around, we had over 100 recruits. And so we were over 100 toward our goal, and just now, halfway into the year, we still had the whole fall to go. So I'm thinking, uh-oh, maybe we're going to hit this goal. Maybe we can pass this goal. Maybe we set it a little too low. So we upped the goal to 200, and we started working toward that and promoting that, making a big deal about hitting 200 by the end of the year. Well, we got around to the fall in the LEADS program, and we said, okay, everybody has to set a goal for the remainder of the year. And I thought, score, we're there. We're going to make our goal. We're sitting right here at 200. We got this. And she says, oh, no. You have to set a new goal for the next 3 months. So Crystal Jackson is in my downline. She's one of the executives also. So she and I talked, and we decided, okay, we're going to go for this big time. We're going to set a goal for another 100 new consultants for October, November, and December, which would have put us at like over 200, 250 for the year. Actually, that would put us at close to 300 for the year. So anyway, we set that big bold goal, and we promoted it, and we went for it as a team. And lo and behold, we ended up here at 324 brand new consultant sponsors onto our team. And we started with a goal of 150 and thought that was crazy. So guys, you can do unbelievable things. I just really, really, really want to encourage you guys to set those big goals, even if they're scary, even if they scare you to death. Set them and share them with your team and help your team feel a part of that, because you will be blown away what you can actually do between now and the end of the year. So I hope that answers that question a little bit. Okay. Who else?
Cindy, can I show what I did for our team meeting now?
Yeah, please. I'd love to see.
So Judy encouraged us, and I don't know if she's encouraged you guys to do the same. The first year we did a year goal, and then we broke it down into 3 months. And so now every 3 months we're setting a new goal, and which our end goal is 300 if we do the 3 months, but we talk about it in 3 months. So this is what we do. And I just made a new one because now this is April through June. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's big. Okay. So what we have here, it says share the love, and it has our team on it, and it has all these hearts. At our team meeting, they did last night, we filled in the one for the first of the year. They got to sign the person's name that they invited to the team when they invited in. And then if they are online, then I do theirs, for if they are virtual and they couldn't join us at the meeting, then I add their team member. But this really helps because then I can take a picture of it and say, look at all the people that we added last month. It keeps it in front of them. It keeps them excited. I can say, look at all of our recruiters. Look, who shared the blessing with others this last month, and it always keeps it in front of them. And so this is what we decided to do. I just had Office Depot. They made this poster for me. And so this has really helped keep it a 3-month goal instead of just looking at a year. And then I've been asked, well, what happens if you don't make that 3-month goal? Do you continue filling it in? No, this is a brand new poster. We didn't, we missed it by probably 10 hearts, I think, for the 3 months. But I didn't focus on what we missed. I focused on doing it again and trying, to hit it this next 3 months. Okay. So I didn't keep that same poster. We're not going to wear out those last, 10 hearts. We're going to move on and we're going to say, okay, let's make this our new goal and we're going to achieve it this time. Because some people are like, well, what if you don't hit it? Do you keep filling in that poster? No, I made a new poster. So that's what we do. And that has really helped it keep it in front of our team. So
I love that. I need one of those. I was doing it the old-fashioned way on actual project board and gluing stars on and filling in the names of every new consultant. And that was fine until all of a sudden it was 5 project boards, and I'm hauling all these to a meeting. So I love the way you did it, that you have one for each quarter. And I would like to get that. I'll have to talk to you outside of this, Melody, and maybe you can share with me how you got them to create that, because I would love to do that.
I sure can.
All right. Any other questions for you guys want to ask today?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So my question is, how, when you present about Fast Track or when you're, talking about directorship, how are you overcoming people's fears? Like I finally have, I already have a director, obviously, but I have some of my personal team that have now made directorship a goal, but they put it way into December. And so how do you approach it? How do you overcome their fears? Like what types of things do you say? Or I don't know, does that make sense? Does my question make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The first thing I would say, if they're setting a goal the 1st of April for December, that's probably too long. I would, kind of analyze that with them and see if they aren't willing to move that up a little bit, maybe make a goal to hit it by conference or that sort of thing. Because what will happen when they recruit at such a slow pace, they start losing people in the process. So it makes it really hard. That's what I try to explain to them. We want to get that momentum going. Just trying to have 3 to 5 people between now and December is not the kind of momentum they're going to put in their team, and try to help them see through that and see if we can't move that goal up a little bit. But I will tell you, they're always afraid, and that's one of the reasons that they typically set the goal so far out there. But when and I find that doubt really creeps in that last month that they're working toward it. They're trying to get all 5 active. They're trying to work toward that 5,000. I just had 2 doing that last month, and we got to mid-month, and they're both going, Cindy, I don't know how to do it. I don't know if it's going to happen. That fear really creeps in, and that's where you need to step up and be an inspirational leader. You've got to encourage them every step of the way. You've got to breathe that belief into them. Really believe it, because it's real easy for that doubt to start creeping in on their part when they start hitting those little hurdles and bumps in the road. And I had 2 last month that we're working to promote, and the last week of the month they both needed about $1,500 in additional sales to hit that 5,000. And we worked it. We worked it. We were talking every single day, and we were, getting their consultants to add more parties. And I just kept trying to breathe that belief into them. This can happen. You can do it. And here's one more idea. What else do you think you can do? What else can you do? And it was amazing how it came together. It all came together. They all exceeded their goal. They were surprised because they were ready to throw their hands up halfway through the month. So I don't know if I really answered that question. Melody, you want to add to that? What you find?
Yes, I can. Is it my microphone that's making that noise, or do you guys hear that around?
I hear that too.
I hear it too. I don't know what it is.
Everyone needs to be muted.
Well, that took care of it. Can you still hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you good now.
Okay, that helped when whatever helped. I will tell you what I did. I ran a director bound right before Christmas, and I paid really close attention to those that were engaged in the director bound. Were really working their business. They had a goal. They wanted it. Maybe they already had a couple team members, and I took 9 of those people and I pulled them out and I put them in a group by themselves. And I did what's called GroupMe. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. It's an app. And I did it that way just to make it a little bit different instead of a group message, because so many people are added to group messages. I thought, I'm just going to try this GroupMe because I was added to it for sports and I saw the interaction on that and how much people interacted on that GroupMe. So I thought, I'm just going to try this. So I took those 9 people and I added them to this GroupMe. And I will tell you, that has made a huge difference. One person already promoted out of it last month. We'll probably have 2 or 3 promote out of it this month. But asking them their goal individually and encouraging them, when they would set that goal a little bit further, what's holding you back from doing it by July or August, and getting them to see that there were people on our team that literally have promoted in 30 days when they said they wanted to do it, 60 days when they said they wanted to do it, and encouraging them and letting them know that it can be done, quicker. But this group has allowed me to really focus in and encourage them. They post in there when they get a new team member. They post in there the shows that they have for the month. They sent me their goal, and some of their goals have changed. Several of them had it to promote by April 1st. Well, 2 of them were working towards it and didn't quite hit it last month, but they're going to try for May 1st. And so they've already sent me their new goals, and I have 3 of them that want to promote, by May 1st. And so pulling them out and having this group, not only are they encouraging each other, it's encouraging me so much in my business too, to see people that are so positive, wanting this business so badly, and they're really working hard for it. So that has been amazing for this 9 group of people. And we had 25 people in that, director bound. And some of my directors were like, well, can I add them to this GroupMe? And I said, I'm looking for, specific criteria of people. We just started a new director bound, and I'm really working with those, and I'll probably do the same thing after this one's over, is pull some of those out that are just really close. They have that mindset. They're ready, so our director bound, a lot of it is focused on their mindset and getting them there, first, because they have to know that they can do it, have the goal, be working towards that goal before they really can decide to make that change. And so to me, that's kind of what our director bound is for, and then, really pushing those that want it, pushing them towards that goal once they figure out, okay, I can do this and I want it. So that has helped me tremendously, is just working with a smaller group within, the people. And so you may try something like, and just like Cindy said, when they get to that point where they're close, they will every single time, it never ceases to amaze me. About the 15th of the month, they go, can't do it. Yep, it's not going to happen this month. And I go, yeah, it is. You have to help them make it. And sometimes it doesn't, but a large majority of the time, they're the ones that are holding themselves back, and it can happen. So you have to kind of be there, gluing yourself to them that month that they're wanting to promote, encouraging them. And this is the neatest thing. And I know Cindy, I heard this the other day in some of the executives, and this was mind-blowing to me, okay? I have done this with every one of my directors now, and this was shared on our exec board. But what some people are doing, when I have a director, like I said, I'm doing with all my directors, but especially those that are close to it, I went into this group that I was talking about, and I said, hey, between you and your team members, I want you to write the number 15, number 1 through 15. And I want you to shout out to all your team members and say, how many parties do we have this month between all of us? Now, I understand that around the United States, we all sell at different levels. I'm from Oklahoma. And I know Cindy's are you from Texas, Cindy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I know that places like, Sharon Zellen said, well, that would be 5 parties for us. Well, that's going to be 15 for me. So I'm having I say 15. And what they do, the director goes, okay, I have 5. All right, great. Okay, that means we need 10 more parties. How many do the rest of you have? And they start shouting out, well, I have 3 this month. Great, that takes us down to 7. I have 2. Okay, great, that takes us down to 5. We need 5 more parties. How many else do the rest of you have, you know? And so they're working for 15, because if you take 5,000 divided by 15, it's about, you know, 330 or whatever. That's an average party, okay? So obviously, some are gonna be more. Some are going to be that $200, especially if they're doing virtually, okay? But if you have them working together for those 15 parties, and as a team, they're going for that 15 goal of parties, it's always in front of them, and they have it on the board. Some people are shooting, you know, their calendar. This is what we have as a team for the month. Here's our 15 parties, you know, and they just have that goal. So at least they know what it's going to take, and they know, you know, so that has been a huge mind shift in some of my director teams that barely hit it every month, or they're trying to go for that director goal, is throwing that, okay, we're going to do these 15 parties. Shout out what you have. Let's come together as a team. We need 15 parties, you know, and based on where they live, you know, it may be a little bit different. Like you live up in New York, it may be 5 parties, but realistically, a lot of us are all over the United States. And so if you kind of have that 15 party goal, that will kind of help them realize they can get it there. And it breaks it down, and it doesn't make it so scary too. That makes sense. So I have been doing that, and that has been eye-opening for my team this month. So
I love that. It gives them a focus rather than just trying to figure out what do we have to do.
Yep.
I love that they're focused on the 15.
Yep.
That's awesome, Melody. Thanks for sharing that.
Hey, you're welcome. It wasn't my idea, but
yeah,
I
didn't hear that. So I love hearing that. That's great.
No, I think it was Love Carpenter that shared it with us, that they're doing that, and I was like, oh my goodness, just like something so simple, but it's something that was like, wow, you could do that as a team, and that is achievable.
Right. That's exactly what I was just thinking. It gives them an achievable goal and something they're working toward together as a team. So it's helping them to bond and move in that direction together. And there we go, back to that, making everybody feel like they matter. They're a part of something bigger, and they understand what that is.
And if you have a director team that's close, or they're going for it, I definitely encourage you to, and that can be in a group messenger or whatever, but have them as a team so you can communicate with all of them together. And I told my director, I'm not always going to be on this group with them, but as they're going for it, I want to be able to walk beside them and help them, you know, and as they hit it, you know, then I'll kind of, you know, step out of that group or whatever. But be sure that when you have that team going for a directorship, they're all in it together, and they all are communicating and working as a goal together. That was a huge difference when I started doing that with my upcoming directors. So.
Yes, I understand you guys are all in the process of setting up a director-bound program. Is that correct? Nobody's nodding that I can see. Okay, there's a nod. Yay. Okay,
Wait.
So how are you guys feeling about that?
What was the question? I didn't hear it clearly.
All in the process of setting up a director-bound program.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of you have questions about that, or want to talk about that a little bit?
I do have a question. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you run your director-bound program, the 6 calls, once or in 6 weeks or in 12 weeks? Because we've heard both ways, like every other week or every week.
Well, I think part of that decision would be based on the group you have in it and what you feel like they need from you. The way I personally have done it is our calls are every other week, our group call with a one-on-one with me in between. So they're talking to me one-on-one on the weeks that we don't have a group call. So that way I'm staying in front of them and keeping whatever they're supposed to be working on in front of them on a weekly basis. And the other thing, I would just second what Melody said about the groups, because right now we have a focus forward group, which is the people we're working with to promote. And it has been unbelievable how they have bonded in that. It's just a message group. It's not even a regular Facebook group. It's a message group. But they have bonded like crazy in that group, and they're answering each other's questions, and they're supporting each other, and it's getting that culture of teamwork and activity going among this group of people that are working to promote. So I would encourage you to set up some kind of venue like that. I'm going to check out this group me because I've not heard of that, but some way they can communicate with each other too outside of the scheduled calls. But I'm going to tell you right now, in my opinion, what makes a director bound program work is your personal one-on-one involvement with the attendees. You know, it's not the training so much that's covered, but it's your one-on-one involvement with them in that entire process. You know, I usually run them for like 2 to 2.5 months, because we usually spend the first part of it really still working on booking, you know, more parties and adding to their personal schedule. So they have enough, you know, a big enough pool of contacts to really find those recruits. But I think you could decide on the pace depending on, you know, the team members you have in there and kind of where they are in the business. So I hope that answered that. Melody, you want to add to that?
I've tried them all different ways. I will tell you. I've tried them 12 weeks. I am currently doing, because this, what I have figured out, honest to goodness, is those that want to promote are going to promote. They're going to work. They have that mindset. So honestly, I have switched mine to a 6 weeks. But I do three group calls within those 6 weeks, and I do like Cindy was saying, I do individual calls as well. But within those 6 weeks, it's changing their mindset, as, you know, being sure their calendars are booked. It's helping them, you know, figure out how to recruit, and, you know, that recruiting culture within. And to me, I have found that you can do that. Because I've ran them for 12 weeks before, and it seems by the end of those 12 weeks, the participation just isn't there, is what I have found. And so that's what I started doing. But then that's what I tried this last time, is at the end of the December, when we finished up that one, that's when I pulled those 9 that I could tell were serious about it. And now I'm working with them individually. And so it's like I did that 6-week program, but then I pulled those out and are doing more on a daily basis with that group as well. So that's how I'm trying them this time, because like I said, I've done the whole binder of the Director Bound. I have, I've done all different ways, but that is kind of where I'm at right now, that I'm trying to see if that will work for us. Now, Shelly, I see on your comment here, it says, yes, we started ours last week, but many are dropping out. Can I ask you what you did to put the people into your Director Bound group, how you started your Director Bound and how you figured out who to put in that group? I'm not sure where Shelly is.
I'm right here.
There you are.
Thank you so much. So I feel like we've done this before with really, really low numbers, and I wanted to put a lot more emphasis this time into, all the tips that we'd heard from so many people who shared it with Lead Plus and seminar, into the forefront of it. And I really talked one-on-one, by phone, not just, a text message here or there, but with many people explained the program and, had that real connecting conversation about what they wanted to get out of their business. And I had a fairly large group that were excited about it. And then we spent, another two weeks with several blitzes and connecting with folks and getting them participating on the blitzes to help fill their calendar. So it's just been kind of between the blitzes and the first call where they've kind of fallen off a bit. So I'm down to 2. I started out with 9 people who were, fully committed to it.
And I would say probably, because I've started my groups with 25 or 30, and we have 16 directors on our team. And so I get their input, who I throw it out there. And I did a Get Them Where You're Looking For event this time. I don't know if you guys have done one of those with your team, but I recommend anytime you're going to start a Director Bound, you do a Get Them Where You're Looking For event. And I did it just as a Zoom call event. And I did that. And that just to kind of make sure everyone understood, what the program and stuff was about first. But I will say, of the 25 and 30 sometimes that I will have say, yes, let's do it. Like I said, I had about 9, so if you have 9 and you have about 2 that are really still gung-ho, it kind of is, it weighs out to about the same. But I would say, just looking at the people, that you have in there, maybe reaching out to them personally and asking, is this still a goal of yours? Is this something you still want? Maybe they have fallen behind, because like I know one of my girls last night at the meeting said, I've got to get caught up on our Director Bound. I see all these posts and I keep saying, I've got to get back in there. And it's not that she doesn't want it anymore. It's just that she's kind of fallen behind this last week because of all the stuff, So you may just reach out to, those other 7 and just say, where are you at in this process? Where is your mindset right now? Is this something you're still wanting? Because maybe it is, maybe they've just kind of fallen behind the last little bit.
And that's the stage that I just went through, and it was very discouraging because I did reach out to the ones who kind of weren't participating and had that heart-to-heart call, and across the board it was mostly like, it's just really not a good time. And I was so dejected. I thought we were doing really great. I thought this was breaking that previous barrier that we'd been stuck on. So I'm looking forward about what when we're going to start the whole process again. The goal is to do it 3 times this year. So I'm kind of trying to hold out hope that, this one will be smaller, but we'll keep talking about it and pull more in for the next round.
Well, I encourage you to, go ahead.
Disappointment, but what I would say to you is how fabulous would it be if you promote 2 directors?
That's exactly what I was just going to say.
I mean, how fabulous would that be? Focus on the 2 who are committed and wanted, and then focus forward on getting your next group started. It may be brand new consultants. It may be consultants you haven't even sponsored yet that are going to be in that next group, and they may be your next directors. It may be the next recruit you sponsor that is a go-getter and really wants to go for it, wants to fast track. And so it can change on a dime. Don't get hung up on the ones that don't want it. Focus on the ones that want it and look for new ones coming in, and start your next program as soon as you can with the new ones coming in, because that's where the new life and the new directors are going to be. And then every now and then somebody maybe that dropped out this time, they may decide next time is a better time. You can certainly offer it to them again, but I would not get hung up and focus on the ones that are dropping out. And that's been a mistake I've made. That's why it's so easy for me to bring that up, because I have definitely made that mistake in the past with working with my consultants, trying to save everybody or trying to keep the ones in that are on their way out, rather than just looking for the new ones coming in and the potential there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I just lost my advanced title as of April 1st, and I know the Lead Plus rules. I talked to Judy about it. I have to re-promote by June 1st in order to, stay in the group, one. But my director is, I think my concern is being a director. It's a big commitment. It's a lot of work. It's not for the faint of heart. And I say that because, I've been a director for several years. My director promoted last year, and I was so excited. We've maintained our titles together for this last year, and she couldn't get the 5,000 team money in. And when I was talking to her saying, okay, we got to refocus and let's get back in and re-promote by the end of she thought she just needed to get her people active. I was like, no, you got to start all over again and get 5 new people. But my point is, it's a lot. It's a big commitment. And I guess all we have to do is just keep recruiting people and finding the people that really want to do that. Because I've got people that I've got into our Director Brown group that we're starting next week. And we're doing it for 6 weeks. And I can't remember. I think I've got 8 people from my team that are in it. But I almost want to just say, okay, this is like a big commitment. And if you really want it, together we're going to make it happen. And I think they get scared partway through and they realize, wow, this is bigger than I can do. I have a child. I'm a single mom, or I have a full-time job. I can't. And I'm trying to keep them above the line and keeping them focused on, okay, but this is what your benefits are when you promote. This is what you're going to get. So I guess I don't really have a question. I'm just throwing out there. It's a big commitment. And how do you keep them encouraged to stay on the ship and not drown in the middle of the work that needs to be done to qualify as a director? And I'm thinking my big concern from the circle of influence that we had to do for homework is re-promoting before the end of this semester, so I can make sure that I graduate with everybody. So
one thing I'd like to just toss out here real quick to you, Miriam, I would be very careful of the language you're using when you're talking about directorship, because I heard you say several times what a big commitment it was. and that you think it scares people. So I would encourage you to work with these people that you're putting in your director bound and really focus more on their why. Why do they want this to happen rather than what a commitment it is? Because that does make it sound scary. So I would go back to focusing on their why, the benefits, and how that ties into their why. Okay, try to focus that way with these people, because if somebody kept saying to me what a commitment it was, I would probably start doubting if I was up for the job. So I just wanted to point that out, if you don't mind.
No, that's good.
Really be careful with the language you're using. And I know Judy talks some about language.
I guess I'm just a realistic person, and it's like,
well, and if
it's for real. This is for real. I mean, it's
if you
not a get rich quick
really
scheme.
Huge commitment, that may be carrying over to your team members.
Yeah.
So be very careful what your thought process is, how you're thinking about it, and are you focusing on the commitment and what they have to do? I'm using this word have to do because I'm in a special coaching thing with an outside personal coach right now. And when we're using words like I have to, I should, I've got to, that's not a good motivator. We need to be focused on why we want to have it, what the benefits are to us, why we want to do it. Why do we want to do it? Why do we want this to happen rather than I have to and here are the commitments? Okay? It's kind of flipping that, and really that then kind of starts to tie back into their why. Why do they want this? How is their family going to benefit? How are they going to feel when they get to go to a national conference and walk across that stage as a brand new director? Focus on those benefits and the feeling part of it rather than the responsibilities.
Thank you.
Cindy, can I add to that real quick?
Please. Oh, hey, Mary.
Miriam, also work on your thinking of what you personally think about being a director, because I think you're stuck in the negative and on all the work you have to do. So whatever Cindy is saying to you on how you train your team, you probably want to reevaluate for yourself, because there's so much subliminal going on that you're probably swamped, overwhelmed, feel like that this is a lot of work. Why would anybody want to do it? And without you saying one word, I bet your team's feeling the same thing. So you might go back and remember why you want to be a director and dig deep for that why to get excited about it again. If you could get excited about being advanced director, not that you have to be advanced director to be in this program, but why do you want to be advanced director? Get excited again and get to the point where you're like, why would anybody not want this?
Mm-hmm.
You'll see a difference.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank you.
All right, our time is getting close to being up. Anybody else? Melody, do you want to add to any of that?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I think we pretty much covered everything that I have always said and encouraged. But just know that you as a leader are the ones that are going to change. Don't expect your team to change, the culture. Don't expect your team to be the ones that are recruiting if you're not yourself. Okay, so just be sure as a leader that you are being the influence, on your team that is directing and showing them, you're the culture changer, and that that has to come from you. And they are watching, what are you recruiting every month? What is your show schedule like? Are you showing, and this is sometimes where I fail as a leader, is I don't always tell them the good things that I do in my own personal business. I love to listen to them brag, but I'm not necessarily saying, hey guys, I love it. I had $1,000 cooking show last night, or, I was able to talk to the business, with 3 people last night on my show. And sometimes I need to be better about showing them, that I'm doing these things as well, but I don't always talk about them because I just listen to all of them share all the time. So sometimes, as a leader, are you sharing with them, the positive things that are going well in your business? Are they able to see, that things are going good for you as well? So I would encourage you in that way. So
Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining us today. I'm just going to kind of wrap it up with my definition that I have written down here and kind of go back to over and over again as I was going through the LEADS program was what an inspirational leader is. And Melody led us right into this. An inspirational leader creates a picture and a vision so crystal clear that others can see themselves in it. They totally believe in themselves and others, and they inspire others, and they lead by example. So guys, if you will just do that, create that vision for your team and lead by example and just believe in them, it will happen. You will get there, and you will get there faster than you ever imagined. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ladies.